Hello everyone, my name is Jose Garcia, real estate investing coach and mentor. So, here with us tonight, this evening, we have real estate investor, serial entrepreneur, Marina Abramson. Marina, how you doing?
I'm good, how are you?
Good, good. It's always a pleasure to have you on here. So Marina, you and I know each other for about 5 years now. Same coaching, same platforms. We found ourselves in these events quite often. But for those that don't know you, tell us about yourself.
So I'm in the Airbnb space. I do other strategies as well, but Airbnb is my favorite one because of the cash flow, because of the connection with the people and creating experiences for guests.
Absolutely. So why real estate and or Airbnb for you? What made you choose that?
So originally I wanted to quit my job and I was looking for the fastest way to do it. That was number one. And number two, I was traveling overseas and I chose for the first time to stay in Airbnb. And when I was booking it, because it was my first time, I didn't know what to look at. And I was so lucky because the place that I booked was literally on the beach. And you just get out of the building and you walk 2 minutes and you're at the water. And from that moment forward, and I looked at how much I paid for it, and then like 6 months later, I looked at how much she's charging for it now. I was like, oh my God, that's insane. I started running numbers. Like, I can make so much money, and within 4 or 5 or 6 properties, I can replace my entire income and quit my job. So that's why I started and how I started.
Tips for those of you listening in, that's stuff you can want to be writing down. So overall, and I'm a fan of Airbnb. Convenient and private is what I would have to say, and that's basically what she's describing. Obviously, cash flow phenomenal. That's great and all. Quick question on this though, and I asked that because a lot of people are getting started. There's a lot of opposition, a lot of naysayers. Early on, we deal with quite a bit of that. All of us, I think. How did you deal with some of that, or did you have any of that?
You always get naysayers, especially from the closest ones to you.
Yes.
A lot of people are, well, not a lot of, most of us are conditioned, get a job and get your paycheck, come back home, do whatever. And when you start doing something that is different and is not part of their traditional education, they don't understand it. They like, why would you do that? Why would you take the risk? Why would you invest so much time in your education that is not the traditional education? There's a difference. Like if you go to the university, they say, oh, good for you. You're great. You got accepted to the university. But if you go and study something that is not a degree and you can't monetize it in a daily job, they're like, this is a waste of your time. This is a waste of your money. Don't do it. And you have to be in a mindset. So you have to surround yourself with people that are like-minded. You have to make sure that you surround, if you're learning a new trade, go into Facebook groups, go into LinkedIn groups, connect with people that do the same thing that you want to do or you're starting doing so that you can learn from them. Because no course will teach you 100%. The fastest way to learn is experience. And you want somebody else's experience and their mistakes, all the mistakes should be done by them, not by you. So learn from the people's mistakes.
Absolutely, yes. So, and that's phenomenal. It's, surround yourself around like-minded, positive minds, and that's going to carry you places.
Yes.
So let's talk about Airbnb and what you do. And we'll talk about it here some of the Airbnb I'm doing, but most of the Airbnb you do, is this in apartment complexes, thick fill houses? What do you specialize more so with Airbnb itself?
There are different approaches to it. There are a lot of people that like doing it in apartment buildings. A lot of people like doing it in tiny houses. This is the trend. And there are vacation rentals. I prefer to do it in multi-families so that, because my mindset is, if I have 2 or 3 units, 1 unit is paying for all the utilities, the mortgage and everything else, and the rest of it is gravy. So if you're taking a single family house, if there is a vacancy, it's 100% vacancy. But if you have a duplex or a triplex and you have vacancy for one of the units, the rest of them are still cash flowing. It's still a cash cow. And you'll be very happy with the numbers. You'll be surprised how much money you can make if you take and convert your property into Airbnb.
Absolutely. When Airbnb first I don't want to say took over, but first came into play, I think a lot of people doubted it. Even to this day, I continue to hear things like, it's a part-time, it's a short-term. Do you see Airbnb continuing to grow, or something that's going to be more like a phase, in and out?
It's definitely not a phase. They're in, I think, for around 10 years, if not more. And Airbnbs started about the experiences. They wanted to provide people home away from home, provide some kind of service that a lot of hotels or most of the hotels don't offer. And it's a quality of service. So when I go into an Airbnb, my brain immediately starts analyzing the property, analyzing the things that could be improved. And if the owner is open to it, I offer them suggestions on how they can do better. So can they generate, maybe increase their prices or improve their property so they can get better reviews. Because Airbnbs are going, like, standing and falling based on their reviews.
Yes, I definitely heard feedback. Feedback is everything. And I think with most business it is anyway, but definitely when it comes to Airbnb, you want to be on point. So yes. So Marina, when I think about Airbnb, I think of you. Airbnb, oh, Marina. When y'all think about mobile homes, you think about me. Can't deny the king, that's the way it is. So, but you know that I invest in mobile homes. My Airbnbs are in mobile homes, obviously like everything else is. What are your thoughts, Airbnb and manufactured housing?
Well, mobile homes are homes. It doesn't matter if they're mobile or they're stationary and were built with foundations. It is. The great thing about mobile homes is the entry point to them is so low versus a big house that is very expensive to get into, $300,000, $400,000 versus how much? 5 to 10
Tops.
tops.
Yep.
And it's so easy to renovate it and bring it up to standard. For Airbnbs, it's not necessarily the house itself, is how it looks like and the location it's at, and the services you provide, the amenities. So if you can provide them great location, great property that looks amazing, and you provide them amenities that make them feel at home, that they can do everything that they want to do in one location, then it's a win-win situation. And the cash flow, when we're talking about it, if we have great cash flow with a stationary building and a house, think about how much exponentially bigger that cash flow can be with mobile homes.
Absolutely. So, and we're not digging in. We're not getting deep into the conversation. We're not even coaching you about this topic. We're simply talking about it. What you're hearing this more than anything is exit strategies, avenues to create passive income, because that's what we're talking about. It's always great to sit here with Marina and talk about this more. She does talk about the success of, but just like you can be very successful, it can be very costly because mistakes are out there. If you don't position yourself right, if you don't do your research, your homework, that could be a negative side for you. So, Marina, like I mentioned, it's always great to connect with you. Could we get you on one of our coaching calls to come in and talk more in depth, more specific Airbnb?
I'll be happy to help out people.
There you have it. Awesome. So, any last words to encourage anybody new getting into Airbnb and or real estate?
Take the proper education first, because the mistakes you make with in the Airbnb with guests can cost you your account, can cost you your reputation in the area. If you don't run it properly, even the neighbors can be so upset with you that you won't be able to operate the Airbnb ever again, and you will have to get rid of the property. So if you do it right and you put in the right amount of time to learning how to do it correctly, you can prevent a lot of headaches, a lot of pain, and a lot of tears. And one more thing, if you don't mind.
Please.
Airbnb, and I was telling that on one of my Facebook posts, it's not for the faint of heart. It's hard work, it's a lot of hustling, it's a lot of paying attention to details. And I actually was looking to partner up with somebody, and she said, well, what am I going to do? And I created a whole list of what am I doing on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis in order to make it happen and make it work. And I was joking about the fact that the moment I finish listing all the responsibilities, people need a drink. They need to take a drink after that.
Absolutely.
So know that it's a lot of work, but it's very very profitable
Yes.
as long as you.
Nothing works unless you do. You heard it here first with me and Marina. So stay tuned definitely for the next coaching coming available. Marina, thank you for joining us tonight.